Hello, everybody, to the 7th edition of Quarantine Bean, the cheesy one. Are you guys ready to bust out this kit?
Let's do it. All right. So we have our wonderful box here. Open it up. We have our instructions. These are instructions on how to not cook. So we'll keep those right here as we open this box up.
Should have put step 1, relax.
Step 1, do not cook. So we got our box of Cowgirl Creamery flatbread crackers. Love these ones.
Yeah.
Beautiful sourdough crackers.
Yeah, they're like the, honestly, like the perfect cracker.
Yeah. So we just got the plain olive oil and sea salt. We just want to keep them very straightforward. That way, use them as the vehicle for our beautiful cheeses over here. And then we put all the cheese ingredients here in our lovely Truffle Shuffle box. In here, we have our rosemary. We're going to use that to elevate our almonds, which we got the really nice Marcona almonds. And so for those of you who have never heard of Marcona almonds or have Marcona almonds, basically this is a varietal of almond that's grown in Spain, and they are absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
Like nutty, really, really good flavor. The texture is excellent. We just toasted them and put a little bit of our Bolognese sea salt on top of them.
It's like almost like they're like a nut in a league of their own.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
There's like almonds with the shell on, and then those Marconas.
Yeah, Marconas. They really are. So for those of you that haven't had Marconas before, this is going to be a totally different experience than the almonds you're used to. And then we got medjool dates over here, which medjool dates are just, again, a varietal date. So they're super fleshy. So like the flesh to skin ratio is definitely heavier on the flesh side. So it's like a really, really, like when you taste it, it's almost like biting into, they have almost like a honey texture to them. And so we want to add those so you guys can experience those. These are from California. Beautiful California dates. Love them. We have a jar of our brown butter truffle honey. So we're working with Tamales Bay to source all our cheeses. So thank you guys over there. Love working with you guys. We're huge fans. We have this lovely Cypress Grove Ms. Natural goat cheese. We wanted to show off this goat cheese, which is super beautiful. Just plain chèvre. Chèvre is the French word for goat. So it's really nice natural chèvre, which when you have it on the cheese board contrasted with the other cheeses and the accoutrement is absolutely delicious. And then one of the stars of the show, we have our lovely Mount Tam from Cowgirl Creamery.
Incredible.
Which, I gotta be honest, I'm like a total fan.
Yeah.
And we're very lucky to be using this cheese on our cheese board, and honestly honored to use the cheese. So yeah, thank you guys.
We actually have the cheese maker from Cowgirl Creamery.
First of all, thank you so much for pulling this all together. And Cowgirl Creamery is delighted to be in such fantastic company of your audience, first of all, and of course you guys, the Truffle Shuffle. I have to say, though, we are all extremely fortunate because I am not the cheesemaker. Heaven forbid. That would not be a good thing. I am a talker. I am a lover of those who love cheese. And I am a lover of cheesemakers. So I'm delighted to be here. My role is education and encouraging sales. So I'm happy to be here with you today. A little bit about Cowgirl Creamery. We make organic cow's milk cheese, and whether you have an affinity for cow's milk or goat's milk, we at Cowgirl Creamery play very well with all different kinds of cheese and many different kinds of wines. We work with Albert Strauss's Creamery still, as we did originally in the early days. He is a very important part of our community, and our relationship is very close with him. He is a pioneer in the dairy industry. We work with one other dairy farmer, Bival Farm, out in Point Reyes. One of the things that I value is that we never mix the milk of the two dairy farms that we work with. We showcase each of their milk individually through the cheeses that we make. And that's very special because the work they do is incredible and very, very difficult. And they should be celebrated. So that's what we try to do. All of our cheeses are named after the geography in Northern California. So Mount Tamalpais, we strove to be as great as that landmark is, and Mount Tam became our cheese. Can I go on to the Mount Tam a bit? It's very hard for me not to take a big bite out of this, but I'm going to show you this cheese because I want to take just a moment to tell you why I love it so much. So I'm going to hold it up. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. It is about 53 days old today. And I think that this is one of the most perfect stages to eat it at. You see the gooey lusciousness underneath the rind, and there's a lovely firm center that exists in the middle, and that's exactly the way we want it. Actually, Mount Tam is not a brie, though we are proud as punch to be associated with such a classic. It is actually an American original recipe. We in America have always taken our European foremothers, and we have taken their recipes and messed with them until they were no longer recognizable. It is similar here with the Mount Tam. It started as a Gouda recipe. To that Gouda recipe, we added cream. We also washed the curds to take away some of the lactic acid so that the cheese would maintain a firm center. And the beauty when you taste this is the complementary flavors from right underneath the rind, the gooiness, to the firm and slightly lactic center. And as the cheese grows old gracefully, as we all want to, it will break down a little bit farther and a little bit farther so that that firm center decreases. But still having it there is exactly what we're looking for, the contrast in the flavors. That's Mount Tam.
So one of the questions we have is, do you eat the rind? And that's a big question. A lot of times people are scared to eat the rind, I know.
Yeah, seriously, because they look at it and it doesn't, not quite sure.
So my rule of thumb is the rind is an absolutely essential part of making the cheese what it is. Unless it's cloth or wax, right? I always taste it. And I always taste the cheese in parts. I taste the center of the cheese, whatever cheese it is. And then I taste it underneath the rind, which will give you a completely different flavor. And then I taste all three together. And then you can choose. But it will never hurt you, right? It will never hurt you. It will only give you a indication of the broader personality of the cheese itself.
What exactly is the difference between Mount Tam and your typical French brie?
The percentage of cream, the brie tends to not be a triple cream. It tends to be a double cream. So add more cream, giving it that lusciousness. And also the curds in the vat, you take your milk, you put it in the vat, you add the cultures, you let the milk solidify a bit into a yogurt-like texture, and then you cut the curds very, very gently, which expels moisture. And we then rinse the curds to eliminate some of the lactic acid, which is it's a step in the Gouda recipe. And that's what gives it that firm center, which is not kind of a brie recipe. But the rind is the same, Penicillium candidum, and the aging is similar. It's just that step in between and the addition of the cream that makes it different. And also, the most important part is the milk from the Truffle Creamery, which is part of Albert Strauss's family farms. I want to thank you guys for putting together such an amazing combination.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Debra.
So, Tyler, what do we need to do to get this cheese board started?
Get this cheese board eaten.
Yeah.
We're going to take our almonds over here. Lovely Marconas. And we just wanted to add this little rosemary piece to it because that little hint of rosemary mixed in with the almonds with the Mount Tam is like unreal.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you following along at home, I got my cutting board, my knife, the bowl. Open up the almonds and dump them in my bowl right here.
Yeah, we made this part very simple.
Yeah, it's not very technical. We're just going to use a small amount of this rosemary over here. We're just going to take a little bit of the rosemary and chop it up, fold it in with our almonds. I'm only going to use about this much rosemary in with the almonds. We're just going to take the rosemary and chop it up and fold it into the almonds. I just want to chop it up real fine. And so in the French kitchen, we call this haché. So, you know, super straightforward. Putting the rosemary in there. Then we're just going to toss it up. So I'm just going to pop these almonds in our little bowl over here. Well, we already chopped our almonds. So add those to our cheese board right now.
I'm going to open the Mount Tam. And what I love about these cheeses is you can put them just on the board.
Yeah.
You don't need to portion them beforehand. They're soft enough. So if you guys see that, I've taken it out of the wrapper. Now it goes on the board.
Yeah.
Very technical.
And while you got it out, make sure you smell it.
And then we got this guy.
Parts about it.
And then what do we got to do with these dates, Tyler?
And place them. Oh, man. Nice execution on that.
You guys like that move?
We're going to place them very artistically on our cheese board.
And now what about the pits?
These dates, they have a pit on the inside of them. You know, be careful of that. Don't bite into it too hard. But then one of the coolest things that you can do with dates, you can do a lot of stuff with them. We used to roll them up into marbles at the restaurant and stuff.
Next,
Yep.
we have our brown butter truffle honey. So what you guys want to do with this is bust the lid open.
Yep.
Which I know you guys already have. We got a super cool
Honey dripper.
a honey dripper,
A honey drizzler.
honey drizzler. And what we're going to do, you can also use a spoon.
Yeah, you
and
can use your finger too. You can just stick your finger in it.
we're going to drizzle it right on there. We're going to hit it on this one, and then after we bust open the Mount Tam, then you'll drizzle it on the inside.
One of the reasons why honey works so well on a cheese board is because a cheese board, right, is all about fat and acid. You know, so basically cheese has a whole lot of fat in it. And then a lot of times you want something acidic to like cut through that fat. And that's like a whole big part of the experience, which honey, which I didn't know that until recently, honey is actually very acidic. It's like got the same acidity level as like a lemon. But because there's so much sugar in it, you don't taste the acidity the same way.
Oh,
but
wow.
You feel it on your tongue. So honestly, that's why honey and cheese is like one of the reasons why it's such a natural pairing, because it has the sweetness, but it also has a lot of acidity in it. And so it like is a really good balance. So we have our date that is emptied of the pit, and then carefully take a little bit of our goat cheese, put it on the inside of the date.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you take that date and you close it.
And then drizzle some truffle honey on it.
Put it right there on your cutting board.
And then coming
in hot.
from the left corner.
Ooh. Oh,
wow.
My gosh. Wow.
And
Incredible.
then I just want to demonstrate the single-handed cheese move. So you see I took a cracker. I have it broken. Right? I'm going to scoop into the Mount Tam.
Yep.
Right?
It's very important that you leave bits of cracker in the cheese and in the honey. It's like that guy where you take the butter, you know,
Dip a touch in
and
the honey.
knife, leave the crumbs everywhere.
That's the move.
Yeah, that is the move.